Good morning. If you're having a good day, if you're not, well, sucks to be you. Anyway, this is a typical trailer or RV plumbing diagram, and one of the things you'll run into is they are fair weather, for fair weather. You can't use them when it's really cold out, and oftentimes you can't use them when it's really hot out, unless you want to run the giant air conditioning unit in the roof. But if you're off-grid, etc., this is particularly useful. But you could use it pretty much in any trailer or RV, especially older ones that don't have insulated plumbing. So the first thing you want to address is, here we've got an inlet where you can fill it with gravity into a tank. It goes into a pump. It feeds the kitchen, it feeds the bathroom sink, it feeds the hot water heater that feeds the shower. Now obviously the hot water heater then comes back to the bathroom sink, back to the kitchen, and that's where it gets good. It also, there's a cold water line that comes from here and feeds the shower. So I've simplified it here. And here I've labeled them cold, cold, and I've brought a hot water line back to the bathroom and back to the kitchen. And I've added the cold water line for the shower. Now what you want to do to stop your pipes from freezing is simply take off of this hot water line that terminates at the kitchen sink that's nearby the tank, and you're going to tee off of it and bring it back into the tank. And you're going to have a valve here. You're going to have a gate valve or other similar valve that you can just slightly open. And what's going to happen is water, hot water, is going to gradually make its way back into the tank. You want it to go very slow because you don't want your tank to overheat. You don't want your pump to run constantly. So you're just going to have to gauge it. You can do this valving a number of different ways. You can do an electronic thing that's controlled by a solenoid, or you can just have a simple mechanical valve. So the solenoid time valve will turn on every hour for, 15 seconds if you want. Or you can just do, like I said, a mechanical valve, old school gate valve. The advantage of the setup is, besides keeping water flowing through the whole system and back, oh, and by the way, this hot water line is actually adjacent to the cold water line that goes into the shower before it tees and comes back. And that way, the radiant heat from this whole hot water line is always, actually, when you install this, is next. You'll see it's next to the cold water line. So it acts like a radiant heater to keep the cold water line warm. And it also makes instant hot water at the kitchen, bath, and shower. There also may be a toilet in here too. However, on older models with plastic toilets, that fitting in the back tends to leak. So what I like to do is just take that deadhead off and use the wand from the shower as a way to fill the toilet and wash your butt.